So they had to send
Mom?
masses to another church
No.
building. Everybody
Fill that out, right?
There's not enough room for me to do that.
It's not par for the course. They hated the mayor.
Good.
Hello, Mr.
Looking good. Man, this fits.
I thought those looked like new chairs. Maybe I thought, well, maybe I'll.
No, they
Y'all had
are.
them 3
Ooh,
times.
those are nice.
You had them? Y'all had them.
We've had them 3
Go look at my desk.
Are these for longer meetings?
No, they're still running about that same
It's
time.
got the lumbar.
Recline.
Got to see what line item those come off of.
It don't matter.
You have to look at last
Put
year.
it up.
How come Steve and Barbara didn't get one?
If they didn't order, then one.
Well, I don't say.
We got the new office.
Oh, okay.
What day is it?
And a raise.
Yeah, that's good.
Right along with ours, right?
I think we did one for Robbie. Didn't we?
Yeah, I know that one.
We need to take the,
We need to, the council, we just need to update them all.
Well, the clock says 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Mark, you'll lead us in.
Thanks. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you for the opportunity that you've given us to assemble here, Lord. Lord, now I pray for wisdom that's only available from you, Lord, that we might be able to make the decisions that are in accordance with your will for the best interests of the city of Howe, Lord. I lift this prayer up in the name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Atlanta, what, you can chase all the other newspapers out of town?
I guess so.
We're going to move to the public request. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject, whether or not the item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. In accordance with the open meeting law, council may not discuss or take any action on any item not posted on the agenda. Mr. Blackwell, you have 3 minutes to address the council.
My problem is the houses up on Long Street. I don't think that it's going to make the neighborhood look right. It just, to me, it just don't fit in the rest of it. You know, what's going to stop everybody that's up through there building a house in their front yard or backyard that's got a little oversized lot? It just don't look good to me. There's not hardly any yard, there'd be hardly any parking. And I've talked to probably 10 or 12 people, and nobody thinks it's a good idea. And I was just wondering why which I don't know what the distance is, that nobody was sending any forms, you know, that notices that they was going to build those houses. And I'm not against them trying to make a living, but I think the planning and zoning board needs to look at the situation before they go and approve things like that. I mean, I may be wrong. I don't know. I'd like to know what somebody else thinks about it. Mainly y'all.
Well, thank you for your concern, but, you know, it's not an agenda item. We cannot tonight. If it's something that you'd like to discuss further, you will need to put it in writing and request it be put on a future agenda.
I don't feel like, you know, that it can stop those houses that, you know, that they're going to build now, but I think we need to do something to keep the town looking right. You know, stop any more from being built. It's just because you got a little extra yard don't mean you need to put a house on it. And I guess that's all I got to say.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all for listening to me.
We'll move on to the departmental report. City administrator.
the outside crew's job descriptions the other day, and I couldn't find it. So the guy that's brand new job description, I just want y'all to look at them. Dave, I'm sorry I didn't have more copies. David Wortham is gone. He's basically what I think they used to call classified as an outside supervisor. Gave him the title of public works director / code enforcement officer. I've got Dave. He's been studying. I'm gonna try to bring him in. I'm not gonna quit doing it, but he's outside so much more than I am now. And I'm also gonna probably send him to code enforcement school. And Dave's gonna start doing more in the field of line locating, setting up bigger jobs, talking with contractors, that thing. Jerry's gonna start running the crew more, which I think Jerry's classification is going on public works supervisor. It's one staple. And Jerry's gonna take over more of the crew duties, doing the repairs and taking care of water blockage, sewer blockages, that sort of thing. And the other two, Bert and Frank, are going to be classified as utility workers, and they basically catch everything out. But I thought I got 2 or 3 other towns and kind of worked through and just kind of made on set for Howe. And I don't know if there's ever been any before, and I couldn't find any on the outside guys. Yeah, I just didn't think about making copies for everybody right now, Sam. Yeah, I'll get copies to everybody by next meeting, or I can mail them to you. And I think in your packet there's a piece of paper about the Board of Appeals. Little thing got number 9 on it, Section 112 Board of Appeals. There's 2 sides to it. Been doing some work trying to upgrade and change some stuff. James said we need to get a Board of Appeals set for discrepancies in the International Building Code. That's where if a builder gets upset and doesn't like what the inspector tells him, and he comes to me and I side with the building inspector, if he's got one other course, he can ask for a Board of Appeals and come before the board. Kind of what I want to get a leeway from y'all is we either need to pick somebody from the town or get y'all to do it. This small town is probably a lot easier to have y'all do it. This is not a meet often, this is only meet when you need to be. And I'll have to get everything set up in the rules and the whole 9 yards. It'll have to be an agenda item and everything else. James Tittle said that it would probably be better to work it like you do a council meeting, have an agenda on it as soon as the council meeting's over, then have your Board of Appeals, for 15 or 20 minutes. He said it shouldn't take long. And if that ever happens, if we ever do it, I'll have all the information sent to you either in that packet or ready for you sometime that day that we have it, or we have to call a special meeting. But I was looking for ease. It would be easier to do y'all, but if y'all want me looking at nominating somebody else or getting y'all to nominate somebody else actually from the town, we can do it that way.
You don't anticipate many appeals, I hope.
I hope not. I mean, I don't think we will. And then it shouldn't take long. He'll state his case, and the inspector will state ours, or I will. And we'll have the information, and basically, if y'all think it's a good, safe way, and it doesn't detour from the work order, if it's black and white in the code book, there's no question about it. And that way they'll have somebody to come and talk to. The other one I got is on some CCN acquisition. I don't have but one map. I can't make maps like these. And what I'm going to do with Jerry Chapman next week is hopefully for next month, I'm going to try to get lined up where we can look at acquiring some more CCN. The only places we got left to go is to the west. And that's, like getting in on the water sales part of it for growth. I mean, if we have some growth, at least we'll be able to grow west. But we're virtually locked. We're landlocked north and south, and we're waterlocked to the east. And virtually all we got is going to the west. There's some lines out there, but they're what they're called line CCN. And we can go in there and work around that and work with Dorchester and Elmont and maybe taking some more acreage. But hopefully I'll have that by the next meeting. Me and Jerry just started working on that the other day. And I try to have all y'all mapped like that. Okay, them are hard to, I don't freehand very good in color. Then, the other one I got is chip and seal in the city streets. We're gonna start looking at that. And I'm gonna try to do a little bit different this year. I'm gonna try to get some bids on actually what it would cost to, pull the streets out and fix them. The one that chip and seal won't help, and I'm gonna try to compare the cost and have something to show y'all too. I've spoke with Philip at the county, but the county's also charging for equipment now too. They should have been all along. So that's went up considerably on just the chip and seal. So I thought I'd try to look at those venues and try to get some of the streets that are beyond the chip and seal part of it actually dug up and relayed. That's all I got.
Okay, we're going to move into old business, public hearing on ordinance number 553, an ordinance confirming the minimum regulations governing the conditions and maintenance of all property, buildings, and structures pursuant to the International Building Code provisions and providing regulations and inspection fees. Would anybody like to address concerning that?
That's for us to talk? How does it differ? Is this different from what we currently are doing now at the city?
Yes.
Yes, this is an increase on the fees. We're not charging enough to cover our inspection fees right now.
Do we do our own inspections, or we have to get someone to inspect?
We've got a contract inspector that inspects for us.
I've got a question on building and structures. The subsequent inspections will be at a fee set by the city. Is that going to be put in writing, or is that going to be a floating fee? Or I just wondered why that wasn't a set fee.
No, it won't be. That's if they call us out there and do the inspection, saying electricity is disconnected and it's not. Then it go back. The set inspection fee is going to be $25.
Okay, so
Yeah,
okay.
that's just. I think what that was supposed to mean was that if you come in and pay for your moving of your structure fee and it doesn't cover it all, then you're going to have to pay just whatever it costs to have it done.
Okay.
How do these fees compare to, just look at the fees, how does that compare with what we're doing right at this moment? If you looked at each one of these, there's, 5 of them?
I think, Mark, I don't have the papers with me. I had it from last month.
Just off the top of your head.
That's what I'm saying. Say an $85,000 house costs $400 now.
Okay.
It costs $485 on the new fee. There's roughly 17 inspections. There's roughly 17 inspections that involve doing the house, and that's, if you have any that you have to redo and stuff, you have to cover that.
How does that compare with, say, Sherman?
I'm sure I didn't talk to Sherman. I talked to Leonard and Van Alstyne and Pottsboro. I tried to get towns our size.
Okay.
Us and Leonard are about the same. We're still way under what Pottsboro and Van Alstyne are doing. I didn't want to go way high. I wanted to bring it up gradually. These hadn't been done since '91. They haven't been upgraded or anything. And our inspection has went up. Dave, we have to have a certified inspector, a third-party inspector for the city has to be certified.
Okay.
And he charges $20 compared to the 15 that used to be paid.
Okay.
Does that mean out Pottsboro we present
On the, now this is where it gets sticky. This is the part where it gets real sticky. I mean, because whenever you're seeing new construction, like a new house being built, that's pretty obvious. Now the sticky part to me is the paragraph right above moving of structures. Right there it says additions to buildings or houses, portable buildings, remodeling, outbuildings, shops, swimming pools, fencing, plumbing, electrical. Now, is there a law in Texas that states that each city has got to, like for example, putting up a fence? Putting up a fence inside of your boundaries. Is there a law that says that the city has to come in and inspect that?
I don't know of any state laws. I know that we've got in place that if you put a fence up, you're supposed to get a site inspection for the fence.
Is that to make sure you're not on somebody
Not
else's?
going over
On
somebody's
sewer
property
lines
or on
or-
sewer lines of that type.
Water lines.
And that's a $20 one, or it will be, it's 15 right now.
We discussed this last time too, and it does not include replacing a fence.
No, if you're gonna replace the fence,
Which is-
you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
This is just new fence.
And what about remodeling your house? I mean, there's all different degrees
What,
of,
that's why I went this route, Mark. The way I read the old one, and I'm not sure we've done it that way, but if you're gonna build on 2 rooms to your house at $30,000, you'll be falling under this part here where it's $400-something new construction. I thought we'd go in, I'm trying to make it level every which way you go. This way you'll go in, you'll pay $25 for your permit,
right.
and then whatever inspections entail, you'll pay that.
That's changing the outside.
That's if you go in, and build 2 new rooms that you have to have cement, pour cement,
Right.
electrical, all that, yeah.
If I tear out a wall.
Like if you tear out a wall, that's,
Inside wall.
yeah, I don't see, there's some things,
So if I like enclose my carport the rest of the way, I'd have to.
if
get
you
rid of
don't, if you don't have to have no major structural work, I don't even see permitting that, because, I mean, my deal is, if you're not gonna do nothing major, if you're gonna, if you're gonna put a ceiling fan up, realistically, I think we
I'm
could
not
charge
gonna
for it,
tell
but I
you.
want,
I'm not
I
gonna tell
mean,
you, Steve.
huh?
I'm not gonna tell you.
That's really how I like it. So, and I've had the lawyer go over these for, me and him talked about them 3 or 4 times, and
Yeah, to me, that's the real sticky one, is that one right there, because it gets real close to none of your business, right? I mean, it's kind of like it's almost like your standard overcharge tax, right? I mean, those are the ones, I mean, I don't know if do we need to define that better?
Well, it says additions to building or houses. So it really means additional structure, doesn't it?
Well,
Does
that's it.
that cover that there? In other words, if you're gonna do something inside, hey, the wife says, hey, we're gonna remodel the kitchen and the bathroom.
Right.
If you do that, that's none of his business.
I don't want to know that.
Yeah, but see, I
But if
think,
you're adding on,
yeah, but see, it says additions to buildings or houses, comma, portable buildings, but, I mean, you can't say it's additions to remodeling.
Oh,
I mean, because it doesn't, I mean, to me, it's a separate thought.
To me, okay, I can see replacing the word. To me, additional buildings mean you're gonna go out there and build a whole new room on it. If you're gonna go in there and remodel your bathroom, to me, that's not an addition, that's a remodel.
Okay, and so therefore remodeling, and so to me, the biggest, I don't know, to me, it needs to be fully defined, and if it's not defined, then it's open.
so like on the remodeling I heard down here, is if we add structural remodeling.
Yeah, and then also we were talking about the fencing, if, as in new fencing, or, as in it's something where you don't already have it fully, already, it's a new fence line or something that's, I don't know, to me it's really, I'm not the only one that whenever you're getting ready to put up something that you always concern yourself with, is that you're not, right? That you're not stepping into something that
Actually,
all of a sudden you're going to get.
Actually, what I try to tell everybody, it would be so easy if you're gonna do anything before you start. It doesn't cost nothing to call and ask. That way,
Mhm.
and I don't want, basically like Sam says, basic remodeling is none of my business. Don't wanna know about that. Now, if you call and say, I'm gonna build 2 rooms on the back of my house, they're gonna be 25 foot wide and 60 foot long. That would have to be permitted.
Right.
Well, what Scotty mentioned that maybe, and so did the mayor, just insert their structural remodeling.
And
That
new-
implies an additional,
And then new in front of fencing.
Well, now you're talking about taking out a wall. To me, that's structural.
If they require.
Could I interject something here?
Yes, sir, we are in public hearing.
7, 8, 9 years ago, I had a quote, portable building built on the back of my lot, and I come down there and it says, as long as the foundation's not attached to the ground, you don't even have to have a permit for a portable building. And the taxing authority doesn't look at it as raising the price of your property because it's portable. You can pick it up and move it anytime you want to.
Yeah, and so,
That shouldn't even be on there.
That, and so that's where that line, see, that's the thing, you're talking about, that, Steve, you're saying that, just call. But the problem we're doing here is that we're actually putting something in stone that.
Well, on the portable buildings too, I'll just get to that part.
Okay.
The way it was set up before I came here and that we're still using, anything over 200 square foot is supposed to be permitted.
Whether it was portable or whether it was.
Whether it's portable or not, because anything that big, most time you're gonna stick electrical wire in it.
I mean, broke the law.
Well,
That's
now,
what I got.
Well, now, you made a statement right there, because it's gonna have
No, mine's
electricity to
192
it.
foot.
Now, see, that's a little bit, now, to me, that might be the defining line right there, is that it is power running to it.
But on the same token, you're supposed to get a site inspection because it's supposed to stay off so far off the fences and property lines too. That's another thing that we check on site inspection.
Should have built it in.
What was that, Scotty?
It's my general understanding, if it didn't need concrete, electrical, or plumbing, you didn't need a permit for it.
No, and then on the deal, there's some stuff here, that, like if you get an 8 by 10 portable building, get an inspection, make sure, okay, just show you're far enough all your fences, you can plenty of room to mold this and that. You don't have to get a permit on that, just an inspection.
You have to have a site inspection.
Yes.
Well, this thing here deals with permits, right? Permit fee, right?
Permit and inspection, yes.
Inspection. Well, if you come by and look and say, hey, you're within the boundaries and all that stuff, it's gonna cost you $20.
No, because that's what the inspector charges.
I mean, there's two sides of this. One is that we're crossing over the line on setting up, fees and inspections and what you can and cannot do. Then the other side of it is kind of like what Benny was talking about, is now all of a sudden you're starting to affect the property value of someone else, right? So it's a fine line we're trying to draw here. So I don't know. I think we really need to look at this. I mean, the fees, I think what you're saying is fine. To me, the fees are fine. The question I've got is that one paragraph right there. Because that's where we get to the real, we're getting right on the 50-yard line. One is we're too far, the other ones we're too close. That's my cut.
Well then.
I mean, it's not easy. I'm not.
I've been working on this for 2 months now. I don't know what else to do. What do you want me to do to it?
Well, why don't we strike remodeling out? Because remodeling, the context of remodeling is interior work.
Okay.
That's what I know.
How about okay.
If you say additions or buildings or maybe modifications to buildings, additions or modifications to building, that's outside structure. To me, anyway. And all of us have a different interpretation of these words.
Now again, you just hit on something, Sam. Again, it's that outside is you can see it from the outside.
And whatever I do in my house is none of Steve's business.
But on the same token, though, if you come out there and totally rewire your house and pull your meter before TXU will turn your electricity back on, it has to be totally inspected.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's inside.
Now
But you'll know about that, right?
So that's a good one. That's a good line. That's a good definer. I mean,
That comes
just
under
like what you
something
said.
critical.
Yeah, like you said, if it requires, like what you said.
But see, actually, if you want to get down to brass tacks, that's just an inspection. That's not a permit either. So like that, y'all tell me what y'all want to put. That's what I'll put. Because this is what I came up with, and the lawyer okayed it. But I mean, whatever y'all want.
No. I am not criticizing you.
No. I didn't take it like you did.
To me,
But
it's just a tough one. This is just a tough one.
Yeah, it was.
Real tough one. And what you're doing is you're putting something out there for us to criticize.
Sure.
Well, I think
And
it defines it, Mark, and if we take out that remodeling, like Sam suggested, on the additions to buildings or houses.
And I've got to put new fences in only.
Right, and new fencing.
So we're striking remodeling?
We're going to strike remodel. Well, we're still in public hearing, so we're really not doing anything. But yes,
Okay, we're not doing
We're
it.
just discussing
if
this.
the motion is passed that way, then yes, we're going to strike the remodeling and add new fencing to accept the
Now see, I think,
ordinance.
okay, so it's additions to buildings,
Or
houses, portable buildings, outbuildings, or shops. And then here's a new thought here, is and then it starts talking about swimming pools. You know what I mean? And then there's two thoughts here going, but they're in one sentence here. So obviously swimming pools has got to be a new thought. Fencing is also the new thought, or swimming pools are, okay, I guess you got new swimming pools, new fencing.
So we need to add semicolon with the shop.
And let's see, and you were saying if there, and then the plumbing and electrical is kind of a qualifier to a lot of these. Plumbing and, because if it, you know.
Well, it depends on how you build it. Of course, if you build it from the ground up, theoretically, you need to get a structural inspection also.
Right. Let's take into account some of those thoughts that you're saying.
Well, is the plumbing and electrical, that deals with shops, additional structures?
I would say, well, see, that's what I'm trying to change. See, the way I look at it, you could read, it's kind of like the moving structures, the old way. To me, the way that thing stated, Bill, you go buy an 8x10 building back of pickup, basically he's moving a structure in the house, he should pay $100. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. That's why we started changing some of this. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're going to do. Chris Candace said when he built him a shop with I think he's got a bathroom, electrical, a whole 9 yards. It's just like a small house, but it's his shop. That included all of the inspections. And this, like, instead of coming up and getting a full-fledged permit and paying all the money, this way you'll come pay $25 for your permit fee, and then you'll pay as inspections are needed on whatever you need done.
So when you get the plumbing done,
You'll call, say, I got the plumbing, will you come look, boom, it's done. Electrical, boom, it's done.
Right.
so instead of valuing it over here on new construction, it's going to be
I've got it valued on the other sheet.
Right. Okay. And we just want the wording to, I mean, since this is going to be the ordinance.
This is strictly the ordinance on fees.
Right. Okay.
Any further discussion on ordinance 556?
Do y'all want to, before you vote on this, if y'all want to let me try to fix it or change it, I'll try to get that done too.
We're still in public hearing.
Well, I know, but I'm just telling when you come out, that's why I said it now, because we are still in public hearing.
I think if we accept it with the changes that we
Well,
noted here,
before we change it, I just talked to Barbara, we think that's a typo right here.
where,
Under new construction.
No, actually, that falls back in the way. A lot of this was done with our old one and some from other towns.
Well, what I'm talking about is the fees.
Yeah.
The second where it says $400 up to.
oh yeah, we're
Up to
missing a zero.
$25,000. When you go
Well,
past
it didn't
20,
say 25,000.
No, we're missing a zero.
yes, and that is a typo. That's supposed to be 25,000. That is a typo then.
Yeah, that is.
That's supposed to be 25,000 instead of 25,000.
Now, let me ask a question here. On the next two items, it says $450 for the first 50,000 plus $1 for each additional thousand, or fraction, or vice. By the way, under that fees, where the 25,000 was, it's or fracture. It should be fracture. Okay.
Yeah, could be a fracture over there.
Well, yeah, we can fracture. But is that second one there? Should that be $400 up to, or for the first 25,000 plus $1 each for each additional, just like the other for the other four sentences?
No, that's where I had to get it up to cover the inspection. So just the basic inspections, I believe, are $380.
So what he's doing here, Sam, is if you build a $30,000 home,
Okay.
it's going to be $400 plus
$5.
$5.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Because you got your basic 380.
Yeah. And like I say, that's 20 times 17. I can't figure that much in my head right now. But I think there's basic inspection. No, it may be 18 because we're fixing to incorporate a sheetrock inspection too. It's supposed to be being done that we haven't been doing.
All right.
So like I say, if y'all wanna take another go around, let me work on it, look at it a little closer, I don't have a problem with that either. I wanna make sure, I like to get it right the first time.
Is there any further public discussion on this ordinance?
Can I ask you, when you talk remodeling, are you just talking about new structure or?
On remodeling, what you're doing
When you
over
say
there?
remodel, let me say, if you replace the windows in your house, is that considered remodeling?
I don't think it ever had, I mean, your basic stuff, I don't think it ever had. Actually, what I'm looking more than anything else on any kind of remodeling is, I would like to see plumbing and electrical and gas. I'm like Sam says, I don't care if you build a wall, I don't care if you knock one out. I mean, or put a window in, or change it.
But you know, when you say remodeling, if you're taking out, say, first wooden windows and replacing with aluminum windows, to me, that's remodeling, you know.
That's when we took remodeling out.
We're discussing.
You know, or redoing a porch or something like that, that's remodeling. So that's why I'm asking if you.
No.
That's what I've been doing.
No, we're deleting that word, Obey. We're deleting remodeling.
Let me give you my definition of remodeling. Nobody does it anymore. We used to. There's an old car. You wear the engine out, you pull the old one out, put a new one in. You're doing the same thing remodeling a house. The seat covers wear out on it. You take it up, you have a upholstery shop, recover the seats, you know. You're basically refurbishing what is wore out in most of the time when it comes to remodeling. Would you agree with that?
You're making it new, or you're changing.
You're making it newer or better, or you're bringing it up to snuff, so to speak. I think that's an real old saying, you know.
Yeah, I heard that old saying my dad used to use.
Okay, then on addition to buildings, I mean, I can even go on there and list it. On addition to buildings, you're gonna have cement, electrical. If there's any plumbing, there'll be plumbing. You'll have not structural, framing. I can go up there and change that and actually list that in this thing that would act like say. I mean, I'm like you. I mean, I don't. You know, if you're doing, you know, that doesn't make any difference. It's something like say if you're gonna build on a room to your house, let's follow the basic. You know, let's get what's supposed to be inspected. To that effect.
The spirit of this is to ensure safety.
Sure.
And also to protect the value of the adjacent property. I think that's the spirit of it. And so if we do that, I think we have hit on the nail.
I'll work on that before we totally incorporate it.
Yeah, we're not trying to make money out of it.
No, we're not. Believe me, we're not. No.
And we're also not trying to hassle
No,
anybody.
if we were gonna make money, I would go to the Uniform Building Code that $85,000 house I told you about was nearly $1,000 for just permit fee.
Right.
That's why I thought that's a little too high for you.
Top,
Yeah. That's why we went up 50 to $100 basically on on minimum stuff.
To cover what
The
you charge
inspectors.
to us. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, are we done on that one? Brenda? Next is to consider the request from OB Powers for specific use permit at 109.5 East Hanning, located in OTP Block 3, Lot 21. Do you wish to address, you just want me to tell you what planning and zoning did? This is in the public hearing, so do you want to or not?
No.
Okay, we'll end the public hearing. Consider approve ordinance number 553. Do we want to approve it, or do we want to table it with Steve to refine his additions to
I think
building
the motion is
inspection?
to table, let Steve fine
Thank you,
tune it.
Sam.
Now second that.
All in favor? 4 for and against. New business, consider the recommendation from Planning and Zoning Commission regarding the request from OB Powers for specific use permit at 109.5 East Hanning, located in OTP Block 3, Lot 21. Planning and Zoning did meet last night, and it was unanimous to approve this specific use permit for across the street. I recommend that we follow Planning and Zoning recommendation.
What are we?
What is it?
What is it?
What is the recommendation?
It's being used as a church.
Small
It's a
church.
non-denominational small church. and I believe the service is on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning.
Where's one of them, 9?
Right across.
That's
The
where
old
the
day
studio
studio.
used to be.
What a studio was. Oh, Nan's not
No,
there?
she's at home.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Certainly receptive, but do we have to send out letters or anything to this?
It's already been done,
Been
yes,
done?
sir. And it all came back
Okay.
to planning and zoning. There were 16 letters sent out, and 3 came back, and they were all positive responses.
We'll make the motion, accept their second.
Sam, James, any further discussion? All four? 4-4, none against. We need to do the consent items, financial statements, the council minutes, municipal court report, the police department, and the crime disposition report. There's also another report that's on your desk that goes in your package, and it's something that, it doesn't have to be approved or acted on, it has to be presented to the governing body.
Well, white males don't have a chance.
Now, basically, that's required by state law on racial profiling. It's just a basic report to the council on the statistics. Usually that thing would have to be a lot more in depth if we didn't use camera systems and keep the tapes for 90 days. And I do 3 things. I review the tapes, and I review them on usually it's a weekly basis. Sometime during the end of the week, I'll pull a couple tapes and review them. I also review all traffic citations that are written when they go on their computer to look at those. And then anybody that's stopped on the highway in town or whatever, if they're just given a verbal warning with no citation, officers are required to write a report detailing what they were stopped for and what they were verbally warned about. So I use 3 different stop-get methods to review what they're doing.
It's really an interesting report.
How do you tell whether Hispanic or white or Asian? I mean, just by looking at them, or do they?
UCR sets up the sets up the codes on them on the reporting system.
Is that information on the driver's license?
Yeah, it's now on the Hispanic males. The state started lumping them into the category of white males or white females years ago. Driver's license before that time used to have Hispanic on it, and they got away from that. I'm not sure why. I just know that as time went along, they got where that was being reported as white, and I'm sure probably eventually they will go back to that again. But generally, that's on the driver's license. That's usually set up when they're issued by the state.
I have a motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Any further discussion? All 4? 4, none against. Consider approving request from Les Bennett, Howe Chamber of Commerce for temporary closure of 100 blocks of East Canning and East O'Connell Streets for Founder's Day on May 3rd, 2003 from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So moved.
Mark?
Second.
James? Further discussion? All 4? 4, none against. Consider approve ditch cleanup in city. Steve?
I'd like, y'all to give me the go-ahead to start pulling the ditches in town. We're tentatively going to start on the south side on Farmington and just start working every ditch we can. Got John Stevenson. John's a very, very adept and fair operator. He's going to charge $85 an hour for his excavator to clean ditches. And I will supply him a couple of guys to pick up the dirt and haul off as they go. Roughly what I'm looking at doing is 120 hours, which would be 10,200 off the street. I think it's supply, the big one. That'll bring that down to roughly 33,000 plus expense.
How will that leave us percentage-wise for remaining? Are we still be in good shape?
Yeah,
percentage-wise?
we're still going to have, we'll be about $280 shy of $34,000 left.
Is that one of the things we really need to?
The ditches have never been touched here in town. Some of them are pretty bad shape, yeah.
We gonna alert, I guess, the paper.
What we'll do is when we get everything lined up, we will physically go put stuff on doors. And I'll call Lynn all the time anyway. But like I roughly figured that, and I think that will help with runoff in the rain and stuff. Of course,
Sure.
you know, if it's raining, we won't be doing it, but then if it warms up too much, we'll probably kill it just because of the heat. But I'd like to do it pretty quick, so at least maybe, we even talked about getting some grass seed thrown back after we pull it to help with runoff and stuff. And if things work out, I'm hoping a guy will do a demonstration on some tin horns. Where we'll go in there, it's one of them vacuum trucks, where you go in there and you got a high pressure sprayer, when it runs out, he just vacuums up with one tin horn while we're doing it. But I ain't got that figured out yet. I mean, I ain't got all the bases worked out, irons worked out of that one. We'll have it out. But, yeah, I think the ditches continue to be working with that. My plan is, John can move a long ways in an hour time. He can get quite a bit done. And my plan is, I'm hoping to get the entire town done in 3 years. That's what I'm kind of looking at. But I just need to start, and then we'll come back next year and do the same thing.
So what you're looking at now is like a 2.5 week time frame?
Roughly 120 hours, yeah. And he'll work the same hours. He'll work 8 to 5. We might have to work a little extra, but I'm sure he's going to leave us behind pretty quick, hauling the dirt.
Who all is available to do that, other than, what you said, Stevenson? What you said? Who all can do that?
You mean the work?
I mean, is there like 20 people to pick from, or is there one person?
Mark, I have not. John's the only one I've ever used. So I guess Hazelwood could do it. That off the top of my head, the only one around here I can think of is Hazelwood. I know he's local. Well, he's in Sherman too.
Is 85 pretty good an hour?
I think 85 is really cheap. And like I said, John's usually the one to do, but like I said, we got a deep sewer line and that type of stuff. He's got to dig it out.
Okay.
I don't feel like he's ever overcharged us in the least. I think he's done it for a good deal every time.
Is 120, is that a pretty good job?
That's...
And you're going to offer it, and you're offering up the remainder. You're saying there's probably about 2 more rounds of 120 hours. Is that what you're thinking?
There's a whole town, yeah, I'm sure there's that, because we also have to take care of the highway department digits now too.
Right. I was just wondering if you're getting the old volume discount.
I'm sure, yeah. He's cutting us, I feel like he's cutting us a very good deal.
Okay.
He's got the proper equipment.
Yep.
I just know right now, a lot of people are hungry and looking to, give deals. So, okay. Good.
Make the motion.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Now we need to consider approving and selling of all equipment.
I would like permission to take some stuff to auction. I got a bunch of junk, I need to get rid of it. It's not, some of it can be worked. I've got a tractor that that old big Massey Ferguson, I need to get rid of it. And I thought it worked pretty good last year when we went to auction. We actually thought about taking the stuff we got now out here to the Southwest this time to try them. We've got a tractor, that old broom. There's an old water tank in the back that's not any good for us. We've got an old Packer that I don't think I have anything that I can even pull it. I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get it out there. And I've just got, I think that's it.
Make the motion.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. I want to ask the question.
Is there any further discussion?
The old broom, we got a new broom?
No, it's the same old broom. It's the only one we ever had.
Why don't we get a new broom?
We
clean the streets.
we're trying to do that every so often. We're renting one.
Okay.
And we do have that in the plans to
Okay.
do around before, right after.
We're going to do all this area before Founder's Day. This will all be swept down through. What we usually do is we get one for a week, and I run it just as hard as I can. Well, I'll run it as long as I can, and we'll sweep this street. We'll take a Saturday night, me and a couple of guys will come up here after Hood's closing, the street's clear, and we did that a couple of years ago, I think. When Roy and them took our street. And actually, we're gonna do that, and we've got a little four-wheel cart that we're even gonna try to restripe the parking lots before it ends, probably the week before.
Okay, we have a motion by Mark, second by James, on the approval of the zoning bill equipment. All in favor? Consider approving the placement of an overhead storage tank. You want me to take that one?
No. I would like to get to go ahead on this one to put the tire up at well 4. Running into some snags with other stuff. I've been talking to Tim and Jerry. They all agree with me. We're looking at some potential growth out here to the west. And if David's, according to David, we can put that tire right there, have that well right there, and we won't even have to dig outside the fence. We can tie everything inside the yard.
And it's already property owned.
Yeah, and we already own it. I think the worst thing we're going to be looking at is we'll have to raise it a little bit, and it's roughly $1,000 a foot, but that will be the price of 1 acre anywhere else. So I think for ease, and I think it's the best spot to put it right now because, like I say, it everything's there.
Are we in violation without this too?
What's that? Without the tire, we're going to be, yes.
So this puts us back in.
Well, see, that's another deal. I'm also going to get some more bids on going here. I think it will be cheaper because we won't have to do as much plumbing. I'm hoping that maybe we can go bigger tank than what we're even looking at.
What do you think your number is?
The number.
The cost.
Oh, that's not been that fine-tuned yet.
What's our cost right now that we're proposing on this?
$600,000.
$600,000.
Ouch.
No, wait till the main communication.
Oh,
It's not gonna hurt that bad.
but well, do we approve it before we know what numbers? Do you want to break that down?
All we're
Or what?
doing now is
Yeah, we're just-
Yeah, all we're doing now is the placement.
Yeah,
Just
we're
saying
getting
that
ready, but
whenever we do it, it's gonna go there.
a while back, I mean, the bond, we've got the bond's already been approved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We got the one already.
All right. I make a motion.
Mark? Sam? Any further discussion? All four? Any again? Guy, were you for or against? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Thank you. We need to approve the 2001-2002 audit. That was presented to us last month. Do I have a motion? Sam? Any discussion? All four? We need to consider approving the changes to the animal control procedures, including the pound fees. This is what we discussed in the previous meeting, that Sherman is charging us $25 per animal, and we need to get that into our...
What, the way this is rolling up, we're still, if they come pick them up just from us, it's still $15.
Okay.
If we pick them up, it's $15. If we take the Sherman and they get the dog out, it's 15 plus the 25 for us taking the dog over there.
Motion.
Second?
Could you explain that again? You went so fast I couldn't follow it.
Just for example, we took a dog, we picked the dog up and took the Sherman the other day. If the girl would have came up here, it would have cost her $15. Okay, we took it to Sherman, which cost us $25 to drop the dog off. The dog's back home now. So see, when this passes, if this passes, then I'm gonna charge her 15 for us picking it up, and then 25 for what it cost us to Sherman also.
What about strays?
Strays, we're just out of luck.
We're just out
That's taking that out of just the regular.
No, yeah, that's if we pick a stray dog up and then somebody doesn't claim the dog, we're out $25. But if we pick their dog up, because it's going to cost, I forget what it costs to get a dog out of Sherman now, but
it's 25 or 30.
so, but yeah, I'm basically covering our cost to pick the dog up, take them over there, and what we have to pay to leave is what I'm looking at now. And another thing is that the times have changed. I've got to take the dogs over there too, because I think they quit taking dogs at 3 now. I had to have them over there before 3, where it was 4.
But the skunks and other animals, they do still come in for free.
Well, we've been taking care of all them too.
County.
So.
On your monthly work order report, animal 7, is that what this is?
That's how many dogs we took to Sherman. That's how many dogs, actually, that's not even the whole month, that's from the 1st of February to right now. That's why I'd like this one passed tonight.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All four? Four. We need to call May 3rd, 2003 election for 3 council seats and mayor position. Sam?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? All four? All four, no nays. We need to appoint May 3rd, 2003 election officials, Judge Donald Gilstrap, alternate Judge Marion Harper, and Clerk Betty Gord. All 3 have been contacted and are willing to work.
Make a motion.
Okay?
Second.
All right. Further discussion? All four? Four, no nays. We need to appoint May 3rd, 2003 early ballot board election officials, Judge Donald Goldstrap, alternate Judge Marion Harper, and Clerk Betty Gord.
Second.
All right. Further discussion? All four? Four, no nays. We need to approve the hourly wage of $7 an hour for election workers with an additional $25 compensation to the election judge.
Motion. That's pretty standard.
Yes. A motion, second. Any further discussion? All four? Four, no nays. Now we have the executive session. City Council will convene in closed session pursuant to the provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Chapter 551, the Government Code, Vernon, Texas Code, annotated in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551.074 personnel. To consider the recommendation of Planning and Zoning Commission of appointment to Planning and Zoning Commission Board. Consider the recommendation from.
We'll make the motion for Jerry Park.
Second.
Have made a motion, James second. Is there any further discussion? All four? Four, none against. Mayor communication, parks and the TCOG grant. Steve and I went and played in the parks a couple weekends ago and identified some areas that need to be cleaned up, replaced, stuff like that. The paper's been running it for us on what's been going on. There's some faulty equipment that we were afraid that our local children will get hurt on. It's going to come down. Working with an Eagle Scout project to get the park repainted, so the labor's going to be done anyway by the paint. We spread rock at Ferguson, and we took all the old wood off the bleachers, replaced it with new wood, and we're still working on Ferguson Field. We're going to get some poles up to where we're going to impede cars from driving up into the concession stand so where the children are safer. We've cleaned up all of the scrap stuff behind it to where it is a more safer place for the kids to be playing.
And the bathrooms will be
And the bathrooms are-
working on it.
The bathrooms are going to be demolished except for the slab and the toilet. And they are going to be reworked because they are really bad to have to go to the bathroom in. It's not a very good quality in our city for especially the upcoming season. And we are going to be working on the North Field, doing some repairs over there. We got some lights donated by Austin College, 20 of some big halogen lights. So,
We're also going to try to create some more bleachers out of no bleachers left over park. So the guys have been looking at that, trying to figure out how to get some bleachers.
Did we, I don't know if we can do that or not, maybe put it in the agenda, but send a letter to Boston College, thank you. I know you probably have already done
that. Taken care of. So, it's not anything that is required. A verbal thank you would suffice for them. Because they were donated to Austin College, so, there was no cost involved with them. And we got the transformers, the poles, everything. Anything that we wanted, they said come pick it up. And I called and we had crew there the next day. And then on the, see what?
But anything for free on that.
There we go.
When are those to be put out?
Hopefully before baseball season in April.
Good.
So, we're working on that. On the TCOG grant, Last Tuesday, I went and represented the city of Howe in front of the TRRC board, which was a board of 16, 12, from Grayson, Fannin, and Cook County. There were 24 cities that were vying for $250,000 grants. There were 8 of them. And after we got said and done, we ranked 9th. But the good thing about that is one of the cities is only asking for a partial grant, so they will probably be thrown out. So we ranked in the top 8. And what this would do is our scores go to the state, and the state decides. And the indications that we have gotten is that we should get a $250,000 grant to help build the water tower. So that would help alleviate the cost. If we don't get it this year, it should be allocated for next year.
Yeah, he said it's looking really good.
So,
Like I say, there's other ways to get around it. We got next year, we'll still start to work, so it's looking good right now.
so.
So that just leaves a little over half
Mm-hmm.
of what we need. Because we gotta protect our grub state, right?
Right.
Our water.
Right.
That's our manufacturing.
So yes, on that, the 250,000 gallon tank is about 600,000. If the state approves our grant application, it would be $250,000 towards that project.
Great.
So,
Rock and roll.
and that's all I have to communicate. So if we have no further business, do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay.
Yes.
Sam, second. All in favor? 4-4 on the agenda. Thank you.
I'm going to stay. I think that's, I'm going to home or anything. Hello. Are you going to